Today, I'd like to talk to you about shadow work. What do we mean when people talk about shadow work? Well, just like we have light work, which is healing and bringing light, positive energy, we also all have shadows. So what this means is there's aspects of ourselves that we keep hidden, that we don't show others. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad. They might be socially unacceptable, but it's not the same thing as being bad. For example, how many of you watch movies where there's a heist and you like really connect with the characters and you feel like, well, maybe Robin Hood's not so bad, right? This would be a gray area. And if Robin Hood sat and really thought deeply about what he was doing and why he did it and whether or not it was ethical, Robin Hood would be doing shadow work. Shadow work is usually done alone when nobody else is around. That way, if you need to rage in anger or cry and mess up your makeup or just cry in general and not want to do that in front of other people, you're free to do so. It isn't necessarily done in secret though. It can be confidential. It can be done with a coach like me, a spiritual life coach who can walk you through it and help you to make sense of what you're looking at. And just like Robin Hood steals from the rich to give to the poor, and perhaps one might say has questionable ethics, but really when you think about what the rich are doing when they're trying to get richer and they don't actually need more, and they squeeze the middle class into poverty in order to do so, who's really unethical, right? Shadow work is a way of asking these difficult questions. And it's not simply a yes or no. Shadow work means you're taking the time to dig into why do you do the things that you do? And is it beneficial for you to keep doing them this way? And so shadow work can be really, really helpful as you are processing new information. It can be really, really helpful when others ask questions or even criticize you to take a break and say, what does my shadow say about that? The part of myself that I don't normally tell people about, the part of myself that has secret thoughts that I might not share with others, what do I really think about that? And when we pull all of that out and put it on the table to analyze it, often we find that at the core, we're really not bad, we're actually good. This is different than rationalizing, because rationalizing is coming up with some kind of an excuse to say whatever I did that I know I'm not really supposed to be doing is okay because, right? There's a difference between rationalization and shadow work. Shadow work is taking an honest look, looking at the good, the bad, the ugly, and then making sense out of that information so that you can accept yourself, grow, and move forward. Shadow work also includes a lot of letting go of things that are no longer serving. So realizing that, oh, this was a coping mechanism that helped me survive when, but now it's not really helping me anymore. It's actually holding me back. So it's time for me to cut and release that. And when we do that shadow work, we emerge fresh, we emerge free, we emerge able to actually be our whole authentic, unapologetic selves with others, and people can see the evidence that we've done our shadow work by the fact that we're not projecting our crap onto other people trying to get them to take responsibility for our own inner turmoil, because instead of doing that, we've already cut it off and released it. So we've turned over the soil of our inner lives in order to make room for new growth. Think about it this way. You can plant seeds, but in order for those seeds to grow, the soil has to be aerated, it has to be turned over, it has to be fresh so that the plants can get the nutrients. It needs to grow roots and blossom. So if our relationships with others is the area we want to see blossoming, then our roots need to be rooted in having the nutrition and the sustenance that we need from the soil of our souls and of our lives, and cultivate that within ourselves before we can give it to anyone else. So if you loved what I talked about in this video and you want to know more, please feel free to hit me in the comments and send me a DM. Let me know what you're thinking about, because you too can do shadow work. It's not really as difficult as you might think. And if you need a guide or you need someone to help walk you through it, feel free to comment about that as well. Send me a direct message and let me know you're interested. Prayercraft is here for you. I offer spiritual coaching to help you do your shadow work so you don't have to feel like you have to do it alone. Until we meet again, namaste.